Hello, everyone. This is Daniela Di Cascata, and I have Dymphi Peeters here again. And in my series of interviews, I realized that I might be doing a follow-up because I've been guided that after the first interview with these few amazing people that I did, I can offer space for these amazing people to share something with us which is deeply hidden and to provide space for coming out. And today with Dymphi, we will open, I think, a very, very big topic which dwells maybe in many of us, especially in us women. It dwells in me also, so we will be, coming out together. So Dymphi, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm fine. And yeah, it's quite exciting topic we're going to talk about. So it's also a bit scary. Yeah, but I'm fine also.
So me and Dymphi, we have regular beautiful sharings of our, pains and also of our wishes and hopes. And recently came one topic which Dymphi was dealing with. And of course, I know that topic very well. And I felt I might provide some guidance. So that's why we started talking about that. But now it seems it's really some topic we need to share. So Dymphi, tell us about, what you have been feeling recently and what you have been working on inside you. What is the big topic we are going to share today?
What is the big topic? Okay, we're going to talk about the body, loving your own body and loving your weight and loving the forms you have. And, I had I think it was more than a week ago. I played in a concert. It was a live stream concert, and I really enjoyed it. And I was playing, and then I watched the replay myself, and it was so interesting how I felt seeing myself, because I saw myself, I heard myself creating music, and I saw myself being filmed from all sides, from all sides. And sometimes there were some shadows on my face, and really from all sides. And it was really hard for myself to love myself. It really took me some time to be able to enjoy the concert, to enjoy the recording.
Yeah, thank you very much
And
for opening the topic.
yeah,
Yeah, continue.
yes. Yeah, maybe I can tell something about it. Like, shall I tell something about my past with it? Like how it has been. Actually, it has been always a topic for me. I always felt ashamed of my body. When I was younger, I was always trying to hide it because I was not super slim. I've always been, like firm and round and strong also.
Mhm.
But yeah, not like having this beautiful, elegant waist or something like that. Yeah, so it has kept me for a long time. I hated my body, and it has kept me from doing the things I love. And well, luckily it doesn't stop me anymore. I'm so happy with that. But I've come really a long way.
Mhm. Could I would like to just point out that concert because the concert is really amazing. And I think like, if you feel the calling, just watch it because it's very, very beautiful. And I was very touched when I watched it. And I think Dymphi looks absolutely fabulous there, of course. And Dymphi, just invite us. Where can we find this concert? Heart Fire? What was the name?
Yeah, at Heartfire. It's
Yeah,
one
Heart
of
Fire.
the videos of on the Facebook wall of Heartfire.
It's very beautiful. Watch it, everyone. And then just to note one thing, when I was listening to your sharing, there was this sentence about my waist is not as elegant, or I don't know how we defined it now, but I think just to turn the attention, this is, one root of the thing, because any kind of comparison holds us away from fully grasping, embracing, and worshiping our body. So, you know, just this is not in terms of criticism or anything. It's just like turning the attention to this, you know, sentence. Yeah, can you, you know, can you recall the sentence you just said in this
sentence?
Yeah. You know, like you said something like, my waist is not as elegant or as, you know,
elegant and thin, yeah,
like
like
what?
I
You know, the
want it
question
to
is like
be, or
what?
like I would like it to be, or like what people consider beautiful.
Yeah, or maybe what I have seen somewhere else. You know, so I
Yeah,
just want to bring your attention to
yeah,
the root, which is a little bit of comparison. Of course, we all have that because we have attended schools where we are led to constantly compare with others, you know. Who is the fastest student, you know? Who is the, I don't know what, who is the miss? Who is the most beautiful girl in a classroom? So this is one of the roots, actually, which is good to turn attention to when we are dealing with the body acceptance and body full love, you know.
Yeah. And I really realized when looking back and when going through my emotions of uh, of looking at myself, and when I realized, like, oh my God, I have such perfectionism in me, and it's really not about being perfect or having the ideal figure. It's really about love, about loving yourself. That's something which comes first. And uh, nobody, you know, it doesn't matter how many people love you. If you cannot love yourself, and then you cannot feel it, you know. That's the thing, that the true freedom is in loving yourself, and loving yourself just the way you are, and not having to be perfect, or
Yes.
yeah, be according to a certain model or something.
Yes. And I feel, you know, for people in your professional background, when you are actually a performing artist who regularly appears somewhere in a public space, you know, showing your art, performing your art, and then being observed, of course, that takes even more courage and even more self-confidence to be built, you know.
Yeah.
So can you maybe
Yes.
reflect on how different it is for you, you know, Dymphi as a private person, and then the Dymphi as the artist, you know, who is public and who is seen, you know, when doing the art? Is there any difference, you know?
Yeah, for me, for me, there's not really a difference, because in my art, I really show myself. I open up my soul and my my music, like it goes super deep. So it's a very vulnerable thing at the same time, to do that and to let people watch you and experience you, and yeah, know that they will have different kinds of judgments about you. But that's why the only way to be able to do is to really have enough self-love and confidence to stand it, and to not get affected by what people think of you.
Mm-hmm. And
But I think it's for all of us, you know. It's not only for artists, but we get to experience it even more. Like, we have to give ourselves fully, without caring about what people think of us, and at the same time we're dependent on what people think
yes,
of us, because
yes.
otherwise we cannot earn money. So it's a really contradictory thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so in a way, now you mentioned one more topic, which goes with the self-worth regarding the body, and that is like the conditioning. So also something which has probably been injected into us with culture and media and all this that we are surrounded by, all this information field, which is really full of giving us some examples how things should be, how people should look like, and all this. Because you said, you know, the connection with like earning money, becoming successful, and that there might be certain, you know, boxes in which we should fit so that we succeed, because this is really part of our European culture, yeah, Western culture, because there is a certain model, or it exists probably in every culture, yes, that there is a certain model and we kind of are
Yeah.
heading towards it so that we fulfill the criteria. Yeah, very
Yeah.
interesting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
And when we open this topic for the first time, I've been guided to ask you for this self-reflection. Did you have time to do that, like to observe your body from inside and outside?
um, no, I didn't do that yet.
Because so maybe, you know, for whoever might be watching this video, like a very good thing to start when you decide you want to make a change regarding your body is to first write a detailed report, or just, you know, you can record it as a voice message for yourself on what is the state this moment, you know, what it looks like now, what it feels like now. Because if I really want to make a change, I have to know precisely where I am. So I would advise to anyone who really wants to, and I will do it myself actually, because right now I'm kind of satisfied, but there's a lot still I would like to fix. So it's good to write a detailed report on where I am today. And it was full moon yesterday, so it's perfect time to start now. And I would suggest that there are two ways to do this. So first, I look at certain parts of my body, all of them, as detailed as possible from inside. That means, how do I feel about those parts? And is there anything they want to tell me? Are they happy? Are they satisfied? Are they juicy? Are they strong enough? You know, so really just to communicate with each part of my body, and especially, of course, focusing on those parts that I am not so satisfied with. So that would be the inner part. And then looking, you know, at all parts of my body and seeing what I see, and now making these judgments that we make all the time, but to make them, you know, officially, just to really tell myself, today I will really, you know, make a judgment of my body. I will give a review to my body. So I will look in all these things, what they look like visually, and how I feel about them and how they feel, you know. And this detailed communication, which might take, you know, it can take 5 minutes, but it can take 5 days, it can take 5 years, you know. So each person, depending on, you know, devotion to this task, to make a change regarding our body. But this is a perfect beginning. So until now, Dymphi, what has been some of the ways that you use to actually, you know, keep in shape, to help co-create your body so that it looks the way you want it looks? And what helps you?
Yeah. Well, one of the ways which helped me a lot was to focus more on how my body feels. And for example, I do a voice healing work, and in that, yeah, it's really about energy. It's really about unblocking the body and let different parts of the body talk through sound, or yeah, let them sound, and then they give information, you know. And also with sound, you can really make them feel good again, or heal them, or really look at why is it paining me, or what does this part want to tell me. So that's one part I'm doing regularly now. And I love ecstatic dance. That's also something I really enjoy, and I feel how energetic my body is, and how playful, and how I love to dance. So that's one thing. So I'm really used to feel my body, but then still, when I see it, and I've had this all my life, when I see myself on pictures or videos, and then for me it's really my stomach area, my belly, and that's sort of the main part. I
Very good.
feel yeah, I feel it's not like I would, like I find it the most beautiful.
Mhm.
um
Can we can we just
yeah, so it's a different experience to see it than to feel it.
Mhm.
It feels good, and I eat healthy. I'm a vegetarian, and yeah, that feels also really good to my body. So I really, I'm much more conscious than I was before. Like, what do I put into my body, and how does it feel?
And
And still, I have the form I have. You know, I think it's just part of me, and I'm more accepting it now, and I feel, yeah, it's through this body I can embody a great voice, also a powerful voice.
yes.
So I'm also very grateful for the body at the same time. And also I got a child, a healthy child, and I breastfeeded for a really long time, and this body was able to give that. So I feel much more thankful to my body than ever before.
Mhm. Okay, thank you very much. Can we maybe stop here a little bit and dig deeper? Because now you named one part of the body that you would really want to change. So if you feel like, or it's a troubled one, let's say, yeah, you see that as a little problem, you see that as a certain limitation in your full feeling wonderful, when you watch yourself at concert or anything like that. So
Yeah.
could you just like, if you are willing and feel the call, if you could just, sink deeper in that belly area, and could you just like name what it really is that bothers you, and what it looks now, and what would be the future shape of that area, so if you could use some words, and when you dig deeper, seeing the current situation, you might mention some of these terms that you use just for yourself, if you feel like sharing that with us also. Like we talked about these things when we were, because I was designing this golden
Oh
skirt
yeah,
for you.
I know what you
So
mean.
remember, we had a big issue with tops, and I think belly, it's
Yeah.
just like so common. I think there are very few women who feel really confident about their belly. And maybe those who feel confident about their belly, maybe those are women who either completely, are in full feminine shine, they are done, let's say, but I think there are very few of those women. And then maybe you have these fitness women who have a very flat, full of muscles belly. But then on the other hand, I don't think this is actually natural for most women, yeah, because a woman needs to be soft, a woman needs to be gentle, and deep inside our belly, there is womb, and womb needs to be humid and rather soft, because if we are hard in there, we are hard, in life also. So if you just can now, sink into what it looks like now, can I talk about sausage? Because
About,
we were designing this skirt, and we loved the skirt,
yeah.
but we couldn't figure out the top, and we just, talked about, okay, maybe I should also design some sausage.
I felt like a sausage.
Yes,
She wanted me to wear a very tight top, and I didn't like it, so I was like, I want more spatial clothing there, because otherwise it really makes me feel like sausage.
yes.
Yes.
And I know the feeling. I often feel like that,
And it's not feeling, it really looked like that. Yeah.
So, okay, I know that look because, I sometimes see myself in pictures, and I also, see a sausage. So I think this is some challenge that we all of us, sometimes face. And yeah, I actually created some jobs. So when you arrive, you will try. But so
But
let's sink into what it really is. So is it a sausage? Is it whatever names come to you, really awful names, ugly, awful, all these awful names. If you can name it, from the really, deepest, whatever darkest something, your judgment about your belly. If it can go out now, if it can be released, and then we can replace it with creating new.
yeah. It's really like a potato. Like, It's really like a potato. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and it's really wobbly also. It's very wobbly, and skin is not nice uh, because I was pregnant also, and then it was super huge. Oh, but it is wobbly and soft. Yeah, it's absolutely not straightened, or how do you say it?
Mhm,
Like
mhm,
tight or
mhm,
something.
mhm, mhm. I'm
Yeah.
receiving all that. I'm receiving all of that, and I am just immediately sending it to the sea because I have the Adriatic Sea in front of me. So I'm watching through
Oh
the
yeah.
window, and I'm sending all of that, all of these words, all of these judgments. I'm sending them right into the Adriatic Sea. Go on. Is there
Yeah,
anything
thank
else?
you. Yeah, it is really feels like something to say it, and I feel some joy about it. Crazy. But it's that. So
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that the joy is the relief because suddenly we take a higher perspective than the judgment, because when we are in the judgment, it's very low frequency, we are
yeah,
down. And
yeah,
now you are able to name it, so you become
yeah,
the master of it. When you are able
yeah.
to name it, you are the master and you see it from above. And it's really funny. We are so funny with people.
We are such funny beings also. So oh yeah, one thing, yeah. When I'm, when I used to sit on the couch, then then my mother always came and she said, "I see your stomach. I see your stomach." So then I put some pillow in front of my stomach, or I was always trying to hold my breath, so nobody could see my stomach. But then, yeah, you cannot really talk by holding your breath, and it's
Ooh,
very not relaxed also.
yeah, and this is very painful actually. For me, I can feel,
Yeah, it
my
is very
tears now.
painful.
This is very painful, very painful. And I think it
Yes,
happens
it
to
is.
many of
It is
us. Doesn't matter if it is the mother or someone, but yes, very often we hear it from close people. But then
Yeah, she
we
meant
come,
it well, actually. She meant it well. She said it from love, like, you have to know that you're getting too fat. I've heard that so many times in my life, and that I really had to take care of it and had to do this and that and diet and stuff. And for me, nothing worked out. Uh, like, this is my form.
yeah, I still feel it's not finished.
Yeah.
Let me get back to what you were saying. Okay, so you took that pillow to cover it, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I took my pillow to cover it. I really wanted to cover my face. Also, I wanted to hide. I wanted to not show myself.
Sorry. So you covered it. I'm sorry. You covered it and
Yeah, I really wanted to hide, to not show myself, to uh, yeah, yeah. It was really really painful. Like, I felt not seen, and oh yeah, it's deeper because I always thought that because I was fat, or that nobody wanted to spend time with me. That I didn't have so many contacts, I didn't have so many friends. And I always thought, and I talked many times with my mother about, when I would get thin, then I would have more friends.
yes, exactly. So you see
And
this
that was
sentence.
such a pain. That was such a pain. I was also bullied when I was younger,
Mhm.
in primary school, and also when I was in puberty. Yeah, I didn't really, I never really fit in the group. I come from a small village in the Netherlands, and I never really did fit in. Yeah, that was part of it. Yeah, it was like that. And my longing was to fit in, and I thought that was only possible when I would get thin, but I never got thin, so
And,
it was
and
super
this is
frustrating.
a really key sentence what you said. Like, if I get thin, I will have more friends. And this is when we separate from our body. This is the moment when we disconnect, because we say, when I will be a different person, I will have a different life, which is better, but what is now is not okay. And this is a very decisive moment, when the disconnection. And then I believe this, and it repeats in my mind, and this is the pattern.
I had dolls, like Barbie dolls. I so wish that I could put my head onto a different body. I remember that when I was young, I really didn't want to have the body I had. I wanted to put my head on a different body, like I could do with my dolls.
Yes,
that's where I come from.
For anyone who's been through the same, I've been through something similar also. It's important just to again acknowledge that moment, you know, when it started, or where it has been happening, or if it still is there, and just to, you know, connect ourselves, the consciousness, with the current body, because we can't make any change if we are not completely connected with our body. And this is a key issue for women especially, because really, you know, the male principle, sacred malehood, is about bringing consciousness. And of course, many of us women, we are perfectly connected, male and female, inside us, so we can do that also. But in general, men are really the people who bring consciousness, you know. And then for women, it's really our, you know, sacred task to be anchoring the consciousness, which even we can bring, or the men bring, that we anchor it in planet Earth. But that means through our body. We can never do that without our body. So when we are fully anchored in our body, when we are one with our body, we are fully anchored in the planet. Now, we are touching on one topic which has been very intensive in past few years, you know, since 2012, when the big shift has started happening. So many people have become very spiritual, and they started practicing meditation and all these things. But many of us, we forgot our bodies. So all that we ever do, you know, in the spiritual layers, we always need to anchor into our body. I had very similar issue like you, Dymphi. I was not maybe really that people would make fun of me, but I had very big issue with my belly, and a really huge issue. You know, all my life was about covering my belly. Especially, I remember a time around 12 years old, you know, when I just started becoming a woman. You know, I started to have my period and all this. And I was wearing just black color, because black color was the only color that made me thinner, you know. So I was wearing black color only. And I was very, very ashamed for my belly, especially. And I had, you know, my sister and my stepsister, they both were always much, much thinner than me. So I also had this comparison inside me, like, if they can do it, why can't I do it? But we are different species, we have different tasks, we have different bodies, you know. I didn't understand it at that time, you know. So there was also this kind of comparison. And when I was looking back at those, because usually with age we get a little fatter, stronger, more feminine. So I remember many times in my life, I was looking back at pictures from last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I look back and there's a thin woman who is just like completely perfect, you know? So it's also interesting maybe when we decide to change, to look at old pictures, or I don't know, yeah, old pictures, and see some pictures that we now find really beautiful, and to remember how judgmental we were at that given moment. Does this happen to you also?
Oh yes, definitely. Recognizable.
So when you see your concert in a month, you know, you will love it, probably.
Wait, the connection is a little bit bad. I have to change something here.
So yeah,
the connection was a little bit bad, so
okay.
I haven't heard what you said.
That's fine.
Concert, something with concert?
With yeah, that you will love your concert. You know, you will love it when you see it in a month, in a year. It's
Yeah, I already love it now. I already love it, but
excellent.
it took me 24 hours.
Excellent. Wow, great job. Congratulations. Now, I feel there is maybe one little drop missing that we need to finish from that like subconscious seller judgmental thing about your belly. Is there anything else like you want to share? Any more word, any more judgment, any more name before we move into the creative stage?
No.
Yeah, so I feel like sharing one more thing, the thing that you mentioned about breathing. I think that's also what happens to many, many women, and it happened to me. I had it also that I realized that if I don't breathe, you know, I can hold it inside and it doesn't go outside. And I really, you know, I stopped my correct breathing at that moment, maybe when I was, I don't know what, 12 again, I think. And then for next maybe 15, 17 years, I was breathing only with this upper part of my body. And when I started teaching, I started having, because I was living in an area which is very polluted. The air is, you know, really full of industrial chemicals. And I started having problems with my vocal cords. And only then I realized I don't actually breathe correctly. And I realized it is because I am ashamed of my belly. And only then I started uncovering how breathing is connected with my body in good shape. So my big transformation regarding my body was that I started breathing, I started feeling light, I started being in in areas where there is air which I can breathe, because I'm also an asthmatic, so I need very healthy life environment, otherwise I don't feel good. Because for example, my weight changes very much when there is polluted air, because I don't breathe correctly and I start becoming swollen. And the same happens with my lymphatic system. So for example, when I come to certain polluted cities and I stay for a few days, in a few days, my body starts getting swollen. You know, probably it only holds water, because then when I come back to nature, here to the Adriatic, where there is the mountains and the sea and all that, I start losing that weight. So there are so many aspects, and it's so very individual. Yeah, we each have some different recipes, but just to share one more recipe before we start creating your new belly. For me, what helps is really the sea or sea salt, in a way, you know, like to put it on the, like peeling on my skin, or to bath in it. And I also love, you know, mountains, so the mountain air, because when we are breathing mountain air, we don't even need to exercise, but you know, it happens to our body, it becomes activated. So mountain air. And then we were talking about certain parts of our body. I also had a lot of issues with my ass, and I even received some comments you know, recently, a few months ago, like I should my ass looks big when I drive a bicycle and things like that. You know, people are really crazy. And I realized there was some old pain. I didn't even remember that I was ever ashamed for my, you know, what's the name of the button? Yeah, what was the normal name for that? Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I like hiking. So recently I hike time to time, and I realized that, you know, hiking really helps me to have a strong ass. So actually I have quite good muscles there, and it might be big for some, but it's strong. I don't know. I just felt sharing this with you. Yeah. And so let's now turn into the creative part. So we named these sausage, whatever labels we were giving to our bellies. So what it should look like, so that you feel absolutely comfortable, and so that you feel like, you know, I come to the stage without having any worry, you know, what I look like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would like it to be a little bit less swollen. Like, that would be nice.
So can you tune into the ideal image and, you know, describe the, let's say, final goal, you know, what it looks like, you know, so that you feel proud of your, you know, belly area.
Mm. Yeah, it's really hard because I don't believe it's possible. So I believe that I just have to accept like how it's now, how it looks now, and that's all right. And
Exactly.
that the
Because,
more I will live from my the more I will be myself,
yes,
the slimmer I will get, and the more it's still it's the thing I still need to be released or something.
absolutely.
So
Because,
the more I live my really my mission, my purpose, and the more my body will form accordingly to it.
because
But
immediately
now
when I
it's
asked this question, I received the answer, and that is like, first, very small, tiny steps. So this is one mistake we often make. It is like, we see the final result, and I often make this. And we are like, I want to have that final result, no? But to get that final result, first, we take very small steps. So acceptance is one step. Of course, we know it theoretically, right? Me and Dymphi, we
yeah,
work with this topic, accepting self-love. Of course, it's our
yeah.
daily bread. But to fully get to it, I actually feel, Dymphi, what really helps you is your latest song. When I heard that song, You Are Nature, or what's the name?
Yeah, you are nature.
Yeah, You Are Nature. I actually think, you know, inside your song, there is really the healing answer for this topic for you. It's incredible, but I think it is there. Because the first time you asked me, or we talked about this, it's just like, what came to me is like, she needs even more connection with the nature, so that she moves like the waves of the sea, so that she steps on earth like a cat, you know, and all these things, that all these answers are in your song about nature, and all these answers are in nature.
Hmm. That's beautiful. Yeah, I believe so too. That it is in me. And lately, I have I've journaled sort of with my belly. So I journaled with my belly, and I tried to build a relationship with it, because I was always wanting to put it away, but I believe that it wants to tell me something, and it really wants to tell me that the answer I got was that it really wants me to be my authentic me, and to value myself uh, really fully. Yeah, that's really important, to value myself and to really trust my mission and trust my steps on the path of my life. And that is what I am healing in myself, that I can live from my intuition.
Yes.
And yes, I absolutely need this nature connection. That's also what the whole corona crisis is giving to me, is that I'm restoring even more this connection with nature. I'm getting it even more into my life right now than before.
And suddenly, when we leave the judgments behind, a whole new world unfolds, because I think your belly is also a big helper for your singing, because your
Yeah.
singing comes from very deep, it's very strong. It's actually very interesting, because I really think that something will be happening with your belly, because the new song, there's some new lightness in that, because like in your music until now, I love it because it's very persuasive, very persuasive. It's strong. But now that I hear this new song, it's new in this lightness. I really feel it's different for this lightness. So, and I feel your belly is really a big help, in this new path with opera singing, because in opera world, my dear, you are small and thin, right? Because really
Yes.
opera singers, you can tell us more about that. How come it happens that actually many opera singers, they gain weight during their career, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. It is to get a certain sound. I believe that, yeah, it is connected with the body, and you see that a lot of people who have a really amazing, full, beautiful voices, is that they are like bigger persons. But also in opera world, it's a problem, like they got pushed away because of their weight, because the people want to look at very slim singers. But yeah, I know I know some people who think that the bigger singers have the best voices. But I'm not sure about that. I think it has to do with many factors. I think it really has to do with the flowing body, and that you can that you have energetically unblocked your body, that your body is flowing. And when you sing, then it doesn't matter if you have small or
yes.
little or
And
body.
so maybe
So
we are
I'm not
getting
sure
to
about
one
that.
step which you might also try, and that is even accepting the fact that for the purpose of your opera singing, your belly temporarily for some time might even need to grow. It's like it doesn't need to happen. No, no, no,
I'm
no,
not
no, no,
sure
really,
if I
really.
can
It's like,
accept that.
no, it doesn't need to happen, but it's important for your consciousness, for yourself inside. It's important to admit even that. Yes, I allow my body even to grow if I need that now on my journey, so that maybe later on it gets into shape, which I love. But to allow this body, because, maybe there is the thing, the resistance, like,
My body likes it. My body likes that. Yes, I feel it immediately. My body wants to release. It wants just to be accepted like it is.
yes,
And
so that it can
that's the
even
thing. If
grow.
it's thin or thick or fat or slim or little or whatever, it is healthy, and I'm very grateful for that. And it just wants to be like it is in every moment again. And it can change, yeah, but it's fine what it is now.
And there's
And
there's one more, gift, I think, which there is in your belly, and that is, I opened this old topic anew for myself at one online circle, guided by one amazing woman. And I talked there about my connection with dolphins and whales, which I felt from early childhood. I grew up in the Czech Republic. We don't have any sea, so it's absolutely weird, how you are actually 5 years old, and you feel like you communicate with whales and dolphins when you are in the middle of, nowhere, very far away from the sea. And ever since, I met Dymphi, I felt like I'm kind of a dolphin and she's a kind of a whale, and I love her because of that, whale potential, because of the whale frequency. Even when she sings sometimes, I feel in some moments it is the frequency of the whales.
yes, I must say that in my concerts, people have come afterwards to me to to tell me about that. Like there is like energy from the whales in your voice somehow, and they say that the whales are really the old keepers of the earth. So somehow it really resonates with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And since that last week, whales every day are reported here at the Adriatic. So it's incredible.
Wow!
Because like ever since I live here, or I was just coming as a tourist, I was asking people like, have you maybe ever seen a whale here? And there were very few reports, maybe like 1-2 years ago somewhere or at a faraway island, and 10 years ago somewhere else, but like very rare, very rare. And now, thanks to this corona transformation, there are, whales in the Adriatic, and there are a lot of, videos on YouTube from past 7 days. And I am so very excited. So there is another reason that Dymphi and I would love to actually inspire you here at the Adriatic. And I have this vision, and I hope it can come true, about a boat where there is Dymphi, where there is one more person in charge of the physical well-being. So we have some dance, fitness kind of exercise. And we offer an abundant retreat, which will be on voice and sound topics, which are done by Dymphi, on soul's purpose, which I can be a guide with some short consultations, and also with this dance, fitness, body movement with joy on a boat on the Adriatic, meeting the dolphins and the whales here.
Wow! That sounds so awesome. Really, 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 really. Whoa! Amazing energy. That's what I feel from it when I think of it.
Mermaids, sirens.
Yes, with a group of beautiful women, loving ourselves authentically and empower each other and being, becoming proud of who you are.
So in this situation, it's a little difficult, for me to like organize that in a traditional way, because like, what was the situation in the Netherlands right now? Are the borders open? Can you travel or not?
They are still open, the borders, but there's not so many flights, almost no flights.
So we will see what happens, with the flights and with, official information from the government. But Croatia, I think, is becoming really ready to accept tourists, although it will not be the same old tourism like it used to be. I think there will not be any massive tourism, which it can be very great. And I would actually love that cruisers never come back to the Adriatic, that they don't destroy these places, that they don't destroy places like Venice in Italy, and that these places remain preserved even though tourism will start again. This is my big wish, because I want the whales here and I want the dolphins here. And I hope that no matter how the situation is harsh for many providers, I hope we will manage to create these lovely experiences, which will be small scale groups and up to 10, 15 people, and sustainable, so that we are in harmony with the nature, as much as we can, because clearly we haven't learned teleportation or levitation yet. So probably traveling from the Netherlands, we will have to use a plane. But other than that, we will just eat locally sourced fruits and vegetable, maybe some seafood, and all will be just beautifully in harmony with nature and with local spirit, and of course with current permissions and regulations of the governments.
Yes. Beautiful.
So thank you, Dymphi, so much for this lovely sharing, which led us to some places deep inside many of us. I think you talked really for many, many women who just face this. And I wish for, you know, a lot of more creativity opportunities for the two of us. And I hope really dolphins and whales will be included in that.
Yes, I hope so too. Thank you so much for the amazing interview and questions and for your guidance. And yes, really, really amazing.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you so much.
transforming. Mm.